Hello, internet viewers. I'm the Fairly OddGamer. Well, it's a new year and... Wait a minute. We're in March already? Huh. Surprised I haven't done a video in 2 months. Well, looks like I need to put on the right attire now. Perfect. And last year I did March with a guest reviewer. I wonder if he's interested in doing it again.
Oh, hey, gamer. Nice of you to invite me for another month of Marchio.
Please tell me you're not doing that voice all month.
Oh, no, don't worry about it.
Oh, good. So without further ado, it's a time for Marchio! Yahoo! But first things first, we have some unfinished business to take care of. Last year I mentioned that we were going to review a Mario spin-off game after the Mario Early Years trilogy, but due to time we weren't able to get to it. But now we can finally review one of the most intriguing spin-off games in the history of Mario's lifespan.
Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix?
No. Let's just say this game is so strange, so random, and so out there that it has to be played to be believed. But before we get to this weird game, allow us to talk about the console this game was based on. The Philips CDI.
Should I start running now?
But what if I told you that all this started with, no joke, Nintendo? During the later years of the Super NES, Nintendo struck a deal with Sony to make a CD-based add-on for the console entitled SNES CD. Remind you of anything? Eventually, Nintendo's deal with Sony fell out, and from what I heard about the Sega CD, it may have been for the better. And even better news for Sony, the CD-based add-on would eventually become the PlayStation, the true revolutionary console.
Unfortunately for us, the story doesn't end there. After the Sony deal fell through, Nintendo partnered with Philips on the same concept. It was literally announced the day after Sony showed off their prototype at the Consumer Electronics Show. Yeah, nice timing there, Nintendo. Eventually, things fell through with Philips as well, and they went on to make their own console, the infamous CDI. As a result of their partnership with Nintendo, they still had permission to utilize Nintendo IPs on their platform, resulting in a Mario game and 3 Zelda games.
Believe it or not, I actually own 2 out of the 3 Zelda games. You can probably guess which one I don't have. And why is that? Because getting a copy of Zelda's Adventure is freaking expensive. Look at this. No way I'm spending $1,200 for a copy of this game, even if it is on auction. And it's more than likely that none of these games will ever get re-released.
Yeah, there's kind of a reason for that. To put it simply, Sony and Philips kind of flew in opposite directions.
Okay, I think we've had enough of the history lesson for now. The game in question is none other than Hotel Mario for the CDI.
Alright, let's just rip the band-aid off.
Is this game still as meme-orable as it is today? Let's find out. And yes, I did say meme-orable. You'll find out soon enough. After the oh-so-joyous Philips CDI boot-up screen, we say that the game was made possible by the Fantasy Factory, and it's the only game this company was known for. Oh, they also did Ninette Tune for the console a year prior.
So this was a step up in their career. That's pretty sad.
And the game starts off with Mario and Luigi heading to the Mushroom Kingdom while being watched by Bowser.
Nice of the princess to invite us over for a picnic, eh, Luigi? I hope she made lots of spaghetti.
Alright, let's talk about the cutscenes, or rather the quality of them that make games like this feel more memorable. Or should I say, meme-orable. While very few CDI games provide F&B cutscenes like Zelda's Adventure, most of these games have these weirdly animated cutscenes.
If you've seen anything at all from this game, it's probably the cutscenes. They're horrendous. The art looks like it was done in Microsoft Paint.
Or rather something a child would make in Macromedia Flash 8.
Every animation hangs way too long, and the voice acting?
Dear pesky plumbers, the Koopalings and I have taken over the Mushroom Kingdom. The princess is now a permanent guest at one of my 7 Koopa hotels. I dare you to find her if you can.
I want anyone who made fun of Chris Pratt's performance in the movie to apologize to him after seeing that.
Anyway, Mario and Luigi found out that Bowser and the Koopalings from Super Mario World have not only taken over the Mushroom Kingdom, but they also made Peach a permanent member of one of their hotels. And it's up to Mario and Luigi to, of course, save the princess.
And you gotta help us. If you need instructions on how to get through the hotels, check out the enclosed instruction book.
You mean the manual?
Nobody reads the manual!
So let's get started with the first hotel of the game, Morton's Wooddoor Isia Hotel.
Looks kinda peaceful. Looks are deceiving when Koopas are involved.
That's racist, Luigi.
Instead of blowing a flag on a pole or even passing through a giant gate, you have to close all the doors on every floor while under a 200-second time limit. That's it. Also, I forgot to mention that the CDI control looks like this. A medium-sized tablespoon with the buttons clustered around the control pad. However, for this review, I'm not using this controller. Because of the adapter I got for $50 on eBay, I can now play CDI games with a Sega Genesis controller. And in my opinion, that is the most preferable way to play games on the CDI. Speaking of which, you move Mario with the control pad, jump with button 1, close the door with button 2, and pressing both buttons simultaneously, or button 3 if preferable, lets you use the Fire Flower ability, once you have it equipped. In addition, you can defeat enemies like Goombas, Koopas, and even Wigglers by either jumping on them or penetrating them with said Fire Flower. And please, whatever you do, don't lose the Fire Flower, because without it, you'll more than likely be out of luck. I say this because this game is completely difficult.
Kinda makes lost levels look like a walk in the park.
Also, whenever you jump onto an enemy, make sure you don't get blindsided by another enemy, whether in front of you or even above you, because trust me, this will happen a lot.
Oh yeah, and did we mention enemies can reopen doors you've already shut? Because they can do that.
Another way to make this game even more difficult than it needs to be. And let's talk about these elevators. They're pretty much self-explanatory. That is until you get to the later levels in which you have no idea where these elevators will take you, sometimes leaving switch directions without you noticing. You can go into the elevators by pressing up and exit by pressing down. You can even do the same thing with the doors, whether to hide from enemies, grab an item like mushrooms, fire flowers, and starmen, or in some cases trigger more cutscenes, but we'll get to those later. And if you ever get a game over, and trust me you will, it actually lets you reboot to the stage you last died in. At least I'll give this game credit for making it more forgiving. If this was the same as the original Super Mario Bros., then this game would be downright unplayable.
But don't worry, it's unplayable in many other respects.
Each hotel has 10 stages with a boss fight against the hotel manager or one of the Koopalings being the 10th stage. Unlike the previous stages, the boss stages actually have a name. In this case, we have Morton's Treehouse of Pain.
The goal of the boss stages, once again, is to shut all the doors while fighting off the boss. Just be careful you don't get into the same elevator as them. Otherwise... Holy cow! Watch out, kids, Mario just got eaten alive!
Eventually you'll defeat Morton as he jumps out of his tree hotel as it grows apples. Okay. They find Princess Peach on a tree branch only to have it snap off as she's taken now by Roy in his hotel that has a severe case of electrical outages.
How are we gonna find the princess with the power going out? Maybe there's a switch in one of the rooms. Remind me to check.
You don't have a notepad, Mario?
This leads to the next hotel, Roy's Heartbreak Hotel. Wait a minute, is this a play on name based on Elvis Presley's Heartbreak Hotel? Well, this looks more like an actual hotel compared to the previous hotel. And yes, the power does go haywire in these levels, but because my TV's brightness was increased, I can still see Mario even with the power outages. But here's where I find the root of the problem. In stage 5, you'll find a closed door on the second floor with tiny lightning bolts surrounding it. If you get to it quick enough, you'll then trigger what we both think is the most memorable, or should I say, meme-orable cutscene in the entire game. Watch and marvel.
Ha ha, here's the problem. Too many toasters. You know what they say, all toasters toast toast.
And you know what I say? Memes galore!
A professional writer wrote that.
Oh, please. What writer? According to the game's credits, there are no writers.
They must not have been very proud of this.
So Mario unplugs the toasters as bread pops out of each toaster, therefore resolving the electrical monstrosity. Also in this hotel you'll find ninjas from Super Mario World, mini ninjas, and even parabombs from Super Mario World.
And then in Roy's Rowdy Rooftop, you'll find Roy doing his best Spider-Man impression.
It's actually one of the easier boss fights because Roy performs about the same as he did in Super Mario World. After defeating Roy, Mario and Luigi condemn the hotel as Peach gets taken via warp pipe to another hotel, this time in a cave.
You bring a light? No.
More memes galore!
Well, maybe a Koopa will lend us his, if we persuade him.
That oddly threatening remark leads us to Larry's Chilton Hotel. Okay, hang on a sec. Is every one of these level names going to be some kind of hotel pun?
Also, if the stage says Larry's Chilton Hotel, then why does the cutscene say Larry's Cave Hotel, where this mine is mine?
It's just amazingly consistent, isn't it?
No.
Anyway, this hotel, ice physics, why? Instead of doors, this hotel has freezers. Did any resident catch a case of the suds during their stay? Each stage in this hotel only lights up the floor that you're currently on. That is until you defeat the Koopa that holds a candle that lights up every single floor. Also, I did manage to trigger another hidden cutscene in one of the doors, and that's in stage 5. By entering the room on the top floor, you'll find a war pipe that sucks up Mario to, get this, another hotel. Well, specifically stage 8 in the 5th hotel, but we'll get to that later.
By the way, recognize this sound effect? That's the same sound effect that plays when Mario goes down a pipe in Super Mario 64. I'm not kidding.
Oh, and speaking of secrets, there actually is a hidden cheat in the game. By losing all your lives on the first stage of the game,
What am I for?
and pressing no on the continue screen with the following initials, B_space, choose it when restoring to the game, and it'll trigger a map screen acting as the game's level select screen. How cool is that?
If it means this can be over faster, I'm all for it.
Don't count on it. Also with this cheat, you can even skim your way through multiple levels, check the map, and even save your game via stage title screen. How did I find that out? It's simple.
Check out the enclosed instruction book.
You actually read it?
Of course I did.
Nobody reads the manual.
Excuse me, dude. Are you suggesting that the gamer's a yellow belly? No, Hux. Not at all.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to say anything.
Oh, that's good. By the way, viewers, if you're struggling on a game you want to beat, it doesn't hurt to read the manual, or even better, find a strategy guide online. Think of them as helpful tools for success. You know, Hux, I never really thought of it that way. Although I mostly use a gameplay video on my phone to help me out. That works too. Anyway, I should probably get going. Later, dudes! Back in Larry's Hotel, we have, I guess, Buzzy Beetles from the original Super Mario Brothers and Spinies that can walk on the floor as well as the ceiling. And this is probably the only use in which I could crouch by pressing down on the control pad. Finally, we have Monty Moles. They don't really do much except open doors to be annoying and hit a wall and get dizzy. What else is there to say about them? Anyway, in Larry's Scary Lair, Larry's boss gimmick is bowling with bombs, and that's about it. Mario and Luigi escape the cave, but Peach gets launched up to another hotel up in the sky, with clouds. Luckily, they make their way up via Beanstalk.
It's hard to see through those clouds. I hope we can get rid of them. Get the hint? No?
It's here where we find Lemmy's Hyatt Regency Hotel. Besides closing doors, clouds that don't do much other than block Mario's view, and defeating enemies like Flying Goombas, Flying Koopas, and even Bonsai Bills, I managed to get into a room in stage 4 with puffs of cloud smoke surrounding it, which then triggers another cutscene. Mario finds a button under I'm your biggest fan, ha ha ha, which he pushes, resulting in a literal fan blowing away the clouds, revealing the hotel.
Why can't my fans give me that kind of support?
In Lemmy's Sky Hideout, all Lemmy does is fly around the stage throwing paper airplanes. That's just stupid. Anyway, with the help of the giant fan, Mario, Luigi, and Peach blow the hotel cloud and Lemmy far away as possible as Peach magically disappears.
Well, that's just lazy writing.
It's been one of those days. Come on, Luigi. We ain't afraid of no Koopas.
Mario, Ghostbusters called. They want their song lyric back.
The brothers then arrive at Ludwig's Thump Castle. Oh no.
Does this mean Ludwig Koopa will be the next president?
I hope not. Bowser's campaign didn't go too well.
I will make the Mushroom Kingdom great again by building the greatest wall around Bowser's castle, separating the Koopas from the Toads. And will make Princess Peach pay for it. Well, it is horror-themed, as if this game predicted the future in real life. Please don't ask why. In addition to skeleton Koopas, boos, and literally bats,
They're great survivors.
there's also doors that tend to vanish every so often. However, in stage 9, entering a secret room in the middle of the 3rd floor triggers yet another cutscene in which Mario finds Ghost Cologne. Wait a minute, Bowser has actual medicine? Okay, in the comments right now, what do you think Bowser's prescription is for? Anyway, applying the cologne stops the vanishing doors. In Ludwig's frantic lab, Ludwig will prove he's the better president by firing a bolt of lightning via his lightning rod, I guess, at Mario every time he enters a line of sight while also opening doors. Maybe that's what happens when you don't vote for Ludwig. So unless you know what you're doing, this boss fight can be challenging. Eventually you end Ludwig's presidential campaign by having the hotel literally crumble to the ground. And then we have this.
Look, Wendys Hotel. Be careful. When you pinch Wendy's pennies, they pinch back.
This is a family game, right?
I don't think it was meant for anyone.
In actuality, it's called Wendys Blitz Inn Hotel. Is that what Pierre Boyle from Young Frankenstein calls it? In this hotel, you'll find bellhop Goombas, prom Koopas, blue mecha Koopas, Goombas dressed as Elvis, and finally the pennies. Think of them as coins with evil faces.
Well, that's different.
However, in Stage 5, I found out that one of the rooms actually holds the real coins in a literal piggy bank.
So this is where Wendy's hid the real coins.
Also, this is the first hotel in which closing all the doors doesn't end the stage. Oh no, instead it takes you up to higher levels of the stages. But on the bright side, the timer does reset. Forgiving, yes, but still not by much.
Oh wow, a level with 2 screens? This game is really pushing the envelope now.
As for the boss stage, it's literally called Wendy's Sweet Sweet. All Wendy does is blow kisses at Mario, whether by flying pink hearts or red lipstick hearts that hone in on Mario. But at least I can avoid them by hiding in one of the doors. Getting to the top floor allows you the opportunity to stun Wendy and close the remaining doors up top, possibly ending the stage if you're lucky.
That wasn't so hard, was it? No.
Both the hotel and Peach disappear as Mario and Luigi hear Bowser's laugh coming from a giant castle-looking hotel.
This is it, Luigi. Remember, where there's smoke, there's fire.
So memorable that even Arzette made a callback to it. For those who are unaware, Arzette the Jewel of Faramore is a spiritual successor to the mostly known Zelda CDI games Link the Faces of Evil and Zelda the Wand of Gamelon, both of which I own. And from what I've heard, this game is actually pretty good. I suggest you check it out whenever possible, or perhaps I could even review it for the channel.
Think we could get back on track? There's only one hotel left.
Oh good, we're finally getting close to the end. This leads to the final hotel of the game, Bowser's Caesar's Palace Hotel. Oh great, now we've got Caesar's Palace, and by looks alone, it feels like hell. Like a certain restaurant in that very hotel.
Where's the lamb sauce?
You know what, please don't cast Gordon Ramsay in the next Mario movie. He should have been Chef Louie in the live-action Little Mermaid remake, and even that didn't happen.
Anyway, final verse, same as the rest. Shut all the doors and get to Bowser's barbecue room where you find Iggy in a Bowser mask.
Huh, maybe that's where Shrek found the inspiration for the Duloc mascot. Also similar to the previous hotel, each stage has 2 screens with hotel floors. However, this hotel features every single enemy in previous hotels. Jeez, Bowser really knows how to make it hardcore. Also, this is the only hotel in the game that does not have 10 stages. Instead, it has 15 stages, including the final boss stage. But back to Bowser's barbecue room, Iggy as Bowser can hop from floor to floor and send in lightning bolts that hone in on Mario's position. Closing all the doors causes Iggy to unmask himself as Mario heads on up to the highest of floors. It's here where he fights Bowser looking much better in game than the one cutscene he appeared in.
Most of the characters do. Honestly, the sprite art isn't that bad. If not for the horrendous cutscene animation, I'd say this game looks pretty awesome.
I mean, to be fair, it does resemble that of the classic Mario arcade games. But this is not the mid-80s. This was 1994 on a new generation console. Anyway, Bowser could summon multiple lightning bolts and even breathe out fireballs. By the way, I forgot to mention this in Wendy's Sweet Sweet, so it's best to mention it now. If at any point you die in this stage, no matter how much progress you made, then you have to start the entire stage all over again. So much for having it being forgiving.
After you foil Bowser's evil plan to leave doors open and raise the heating bill, I don't know. You finally rescue Princess Peach as Bowser's castle explodes. At least, I think that's what happens. It looks more like it disappears in a puff of smoke, like some kind of bad staged magic act.
But at least the Mushroom Kingdom is back to normal, as Peach can now rule the Mushroom Kingdom without any Koopalings around. But not until she kisses Mario and Luigi.
And my thanks to you, too.
You're the best player ever.
Yeah, I'll just take the You're a Super Player written in coins, thank you.
And that was Hotel Mario. Good God, what a piece of garbage!
I would agree with you, but in all honesty, that's what makes it more memorable. This is definitely a game that has to be played to be believed, and it primarily involves one thing, the cutscenes. Look up any meme or out of context clips you find online. most of the time you'll find a clip from one of these cutscenes. But other than that, the game itself is okay. Not good, but okay. The level and sprite design look pretty good, and I actually like the design choices made for each hotel. As to the gameplay, I also find it okay aside from the difficulty spike. I think that alone kind of ruins it for me. Had the brutal difficulty been thrown aside, then I think it would have had potential of being a good game. But again, the difficulty spike is what made it the game that it is. I don't mind the game's music that much, but it's not something that I really jam to. Is it the worst Mario game of all time? Barely, but no. I still think the Mario Earlier trilogy is still the worst, but only by a slight margin. At least Hotel Mario is playable, somewhat. For the majority of the Mario Earlier trilogy, you're pretty much doing nothing. Overall, Hotel Mario is an okay game. If Nintendo ever decides to re-release this game, assuming they do, then it'd be nice for them to make some changes and perhaps make it a bit easier so that way it'll be fun for all ages. But from what we have, it's probably not a game I recommend unless you're really curious.
I do agree that the cutscenes elevate this game to a so bad it's good level, but the actual gameplay is just too tedious and frustrating to be any fun. If there's one thing this game proves, it's that there's a lot more to designing a Mario game than just bright colors and bouncy characters. There has to be thought put into every aspect of the design, and Phillips was either unable or unwilling to do that, and we're the ones who get to suffer for it. As hilarious as those cutscenes are, everything else about this game doesn't deserve to be anywhere near this amazing franchise.
Now, before I end this video, there is one more thing I want to talk about. Before Hotel Mario, there was going to be a planned successor to the original Super Mario World on the CDI entitled Super Mario's Wacky Worlds. From what I've gathered, it uses the same character sprites and music from the original game. On the other hand, some of the level design actually looks pretty good even in its unfinished state. Fun fact, the developers actually had to pirate the original NES designs to create the characters for CDI hardware. In order to leave a level, you'd have to reset your CDI in order to go to another level. It was unfinished and unreleased, but I think it would have had potential for a great game had it been fully completed, but that's just me. But on the bright side, I never have to play Hotel Mario again. Thank goodness for that. Now throughout the remainder of this month, we'll be covering Mario games that are remembered for good reasons. Until then, I'm the Fairly Odd Gamer, and I wish you all good luck for the rest of your day or night, wherever you are. Take care, everyone.
Hey everyone, Sonic here. In addition to the usual like, subscribe, and bell ringing, feel free to support the channel on Patreon. Being a member gives you exclusive access to a Discord server, extra bonus features, and your name being seen right next to me, like Luke Jeffers. Thanks for watching the video, supporting the channel, and you know what they say, all toasters toast Sonic Toast.